Hi, I'm Tommy. Welcome to Coffee with a Civil Conversation. I'm here this week with Kenny, and we're discussing whether or not it's appropriate for people above the age of 12, would you say, to actively trick or treat.
So, I would say the last time that I went trick-or-treating personally,
We'll start there.
I was about 13. And that was because I heard that there were laws in New Jersey that prevented people from over the age of 14 being able to trick-or-treat like publicly. And I didn't really live in a town where it was easy to trick-or-treat.
Yeah,
so I was kind of just like, okay, this is fine. But there are a lot of laws, state laws, that are being enacted recently that are saying that children, anyone over the age of 12, could be fined like over $25 or sometimes face prison. So it's like, okay.
That could be a problem.
Yeah. And my town was mentioned in one of the articles. It said Upper Deerfield Township. I was like, hey, I know them.
See, I'm trying to think back to the last time I would have gone trick-or-treating, and my grandparents always used to do this big haunted house, invite like the community, because my town is so small that it's all dirt roads. You can't go walk into houses because houses are miles apart. So everyone would just kind of come to this big house. I think the last time I actually would have been a part of like a community trick-or-treat would have been probably around the age of 10, when I went down to my grandma's and we just kind of went, dressed up, walked around for a little bit, down near like Dallas, Wilkes-Barre area.
Okay, gotcha.
As for older people trick-or-treating though, I never really put too much thought into it.
Yeah.
I could see where people find discomfort in it, especially in today's day and age. I feel like olden days were a lot different than now. For just like even concerns of like older people, you know, because there's this scarier kind of, aura about an older person walking up to your porch.
Yeah.
I don't mind if like older people were in a group and they were being respectful though. Walking around, you know, saying like, have a good Halloween, like trick or treat. I think the minute that they start being disrespectful towards younger kids or maybe going above and beyond and, you know, being kind of jerkish about the whole thing is when I have a problem with it.
That's what I was going to say too. I think trick-or-treating is something that like young people should be able to enjoy, but it should be facilitated in a way that, excuse me, it's like if college students wanted to get together to go like trick-or-treating at like a retirement home, so like they could like engage with people in the community and get to like, so they wouldn't be alone on Halloween and wouldn't have to feel like, oh, no one comes to visit me here or something like that. Or you could do something like that where it's like giving back to the community. But as soon as like, I think what people associate with the like, oh, when kids get older, all they want to do on Halloween is TP houses and like just to be disrespectful, or like the worry that like if it like college age students, like if you're out partying on Halloween, you could just have a bunch of drunk people showing up to your house like give me candy. So I think if handled well, trick-or-treating should be something that like young people could enjoy. I wouldn't mind going trick-or-treating. I thought about doing like one of those like in my building because I'm an RA, so I thought that might have been fun, but I don't know.
So do you think, say we're in a younger community, do you think older people walking around trick-or-treating would have any negative effect on them, do you think?
Define older.
I'd say 17 years and older. Like possibly a bad influence or whatever, because I know it only takes one bad bug to ruin it for everybody. But I just was wondering whether you thought just having older people in the same general atmosphere on Halloween trick-or-treating would be bad for little kids. Even outfits-wise, maybe costumes, because you know they're being a little more free, more open. I mean, kids generally dress like more cautious just because their parents don't want their like 8 or 9-year-old running around in some like, you know what I'm talking about though.
Oh my God, Tommy, okay. But yes, and that goes back to the whole, I think trick-or-treat should be something that young people can enjoy if facilitated in a way. Like, I don't think there should be a law saying that like, you're gonna get fined money and whatnot.
I think that's outrageous.
But I think if Because it would be a little awkward if like a 17-year-old was knocking up the door at the same time a 4-year-old is like, trick or treat. So I think maybe just having that respective boundaries, being like trick or treating is mainly something that kids do. And it's like, you can do it as a young adult if you like are willing to be respectful of the fact that it's mainly just for kids.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I would say I don't know if I'll ever go trick-or-treating again, but if there was something like that that would allow me to like do it in a way that like gave back to the community or wasn't going to be like be weird for people that would feel weird about giving me candy, I think it would be fun because like it's a nice way to engage the community.
Yeah.
Because there are some people that don't see their neighbors until like trick-or-treating typically. So it's a nice way to get to know kids in town. So
yeah. So another thing I wanted to bring up is I know a lot of communities set up these trunk or treats. What do you think about an older like group out of an event like that as opposed to actual like Halloween night going out trick-or-treating?
I think
more of a day activity, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I think, and that might work better for like for young people as well. Just like being able to, if it was just a community of young people, it's like this is trunk or treat for older people that want to do it. I think that would actually work quite well. That's a pretty good idea.
I feel like it kind of acts as like the extension of if you're interested in trick-or-treating past the age of 12, 13, I think trunk or treat is kind of where your option lies.
Yeah.
I guess you could say it becomes more socially acceptable to be at a trunk or treat at past that age. Now, this is kind of an interesting point. Back to trick-or-treating. If you have a younger sibling, you want to take them trick-or-treating, is it okay for you to dress up and be a part of the whole experience?
I don't know. I don't have a younger sibling personally, but I think if there was like, say like, you're like 17 and you have a younger sibling that's like 11 and like you're supposed to watch them for Halloween, I think like you might even not have to be like, I definitely want you to give me candy. Like people might just give you candy because they're like, oh, how nice that you're taking your younger sibling out trick-or-treating. I don't know. I think that's fine. So.
Yeah. I'm trying to think about like some of my younger cousins. I have 8-year-old cousins, 10-year-old cousins. I don't think personally I would dress up to go with them, but I would definitely take them out. Just, I mean, if, you know, I wouldn't be uncomfortable with that. I don't think anybody would really be uncomfortable with that.
Yeah.
Do you think it's more socially acceptable for a child to go maybe with their older siblings or with parents?
Well, in the movie we were watching, Hocus Pocus, she went trick-or-treating with her older brother. So I guess it is more socially acceptable for just like, people just assume it's like, oh, the parents just waiting like at the end of the lawn to just like walk them like another 5 feet to the next house. So I guess it is more socially acceptable, but I've definitely seen older siblings do it just because it's like Wednesday is like a work night, so parents might need to be somewhere, or the parents want to party on Halloween.
Exactly. It's more like maybe the parents are back at the house having a party with their doors open for other kids to come. Yeah. So they send the older sibling out with like their younger brother or sister.
Yeah.
Do you think it's okay for parents to dress up if they do take their kids trick-or-treating though?
Oh, I hope to be that parent if that's the case. I think Halloween is something that everyone should have fun with. Like even, I don't know, the past couple of years I haven't been that into Halloween, but like I try to like understand like people wanting to have fun with it. So my mother still dresses up for Halloween every year and she's like about like 53. So I think it's something that like you should appreciate. Like even it's just like someone might be like, oh, there's the weird parent that always dresses up every year. But like, I think it's fun.
I would have to agree because I know when my grandma used to host those Halloween parties, the best part used to be seeing how like my aunts and uncles, my mom and dad like decided they were gonna like dress up. It's funny because I guess it's so socially acceptable that kids dress up, and then it's so quote unquote unacceptable that parents dress up. That when they do dress up, you're like, oh, I can't wait to see what they're actually wearing. You know, so That's something I really enjoyed. I would love to go back to it. Still trying to convince my grandparents to
I mean,
open
your
that
brother's
back up.
birthday is on Halloween, so
You're
like
right.
you should be like, hey, bring it back for his birthday.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. Okay.
So I guess that's really it. This has been another Coffee with a Civil Conversation. Another episode of Coffee with a Civil Conversation. I'm Tommy. This is Kenny. See you guys.